Field log pending. So, there are 3 survivors, 3 statements, 3 entirely different worlds. The first survivor said, "It was just a man, but his shadow did not follow right." The second one said, "No, there were wings. He saw them. He saw them clearly." The third survivor said, "There was no one there, just the sound of something breathing." The police reports, on the other hand, are clean, surgical, curated. Similar times of death, similar weapons listed, same sterile conclusion. Quote, "Gang-related violence, case closed," end quote. Except there was no gang, no ballistic match, no consistent forensic pattern, no motive that survives contact with scrutiny. And yet, every file carries the same signatures: Chief Beryl Vandrus and the Attorney General's clearance. That's not procedure. That's not right. Someone is trying to hide something, and this city is playing along. We have to start with the assumption that the witnesses are unreliable. Trauma fractures memory. Fear invents monsters. But what if? What if they're all telling the truth? What if the contradiction isn't in them, but in what they saw? New Orleans, a city built on bones, stories, and things that always end up being unearthed. The Bureau calls it folklore, the locals call it tradition. Where do I stand on this? Is this something I'm interested in pursuing? Maybe. But there's a pattern to be found here. A pattern that I was trained to tail, and perhaps even in some ways ignore. There is a second layer to this case. Not the killings. The cash, maybe? What possible reason could they have for trying to get their hands on hidden data? What is this data even about? It's so vague. How am I supposed to... Well, I suppose I'm getting ahead of myself. No, focus. If that cache is real, it might explain motive. But what kind of supernatural threat would be this obvious about their pursuit of something like this? Could it be that I'm not just investigating murders? I'm stepping into some sort of grand conspiracy, perhaps? No. I'm starting to sound insane. What is going on here? Let's think. There's a few things I know for sure. I've had a meeting with those Redgrave strangers. What does that entail? They called themselves hunters. They must know New Orleans pretty well. That meeting seems almost fated. Is there some sort of involvement? Did we end up approaching each other on purpose? Were we lured? No. That can't be. How are we supposed to catch up? So, the Redgraves have done one thing, and they will pursue another. But what then of project manager Michael Redgrave? Where do we stand on that conclusion? I've done some more research. In my logs, I explained further. I was able to go to the old city of Violet, the one that was recently burnt down. How interesting, isn't it? Only a little bit of time before I come to New Orleans, the place where I'm supposed to find a lead has been burnt down. Is that really coincidence? I can't tell. But I was able to unearth a file. Michael Redgrave. What a terrible human being, honestly. It turns out he was the first project lead, the first to find subjects for Project MK Ultra. What is this Project MK Ultra, you might ask yourself? It was a project that was originated amongst different government agencies. Their goal was to unearth unnatural powers in humans by using drugs and other experimental applications, shall we say. Some subjects even managed to escape the original testing grounds. When the government was accused of these conspiracies, they called them crazy. They said it was the machinations of an addled mind. They called them lies. Obviously, the government would try to cover it up. But this is horrendous. After cross-examining a lot of old files, I was able to discover that this Michael Redgrave was actually someone who experimented on his own children. In fact, they were amongst the first batch of test subjects. Quote, there is 3 in particular that have outstanding results. Hugo Redgrave, Neliel Redgrave, and Carl Redgrave. They unlocked their psychic potency by sheer accident, overdosing. Particularly, the subject called Hugo Redgrave was of particular import. From my examinations, they pumped him full of adrenaline, and then they kept him in a cage where he would have to break out, trying to induce the rat instinct. You know the one. By making an animal feel cornered and desperate, they attempt to send it into a frenzy. He then showed incredible potency at controlling his own body, doing things that normal humans should not be able to do. The other subjects were then told to face off against each other. It is a mental and stimulating battle. Michael Redgrave wrote, quote, the reason why he had a better chance at awakening the psychic potency, as he called it, is because he understood that it wasn't about the chemicals. The chemicals induce a biological reaction, yes, but in order for the psychic power to take hold, you must affect them mentally. He said, quote, he made sure that the social group around Hugo Redgrave would induce an environment where he would need to become stronger himself. He made sure that his son would have no friends, would be backed into a corner, would be ousted from the normal drudges of society. This sort of mental blockade, a desperate last struggle, would make his child face a certain truth. This truth is what he called the psychic shock. He explains in his field report, what are psychics? He explains that psychics are a medium of magic of some kind. He explains it as instinctive will working. I'm not sure what this phrase represents. I'll have to do some further inquiries. I don't know much about the Sorcerer's Society. They keep to themselves after all. Could it be that psychic power is a type of sorcery of some kind? It's too early to tell at this point in time. I don't really know where we should stand on this. But the field report is quite interesting to me. In the 7th test catalog, it said that Hugo Redgrave faced an official awakening. The psychic phenomena works like this. Firstly, there is the dormant essence. There is some sort of device that is able to tell how strong the natural will-working ability of someone is. How they test it and how it operates or functions is beyond me. But apparently, with this machine or device, they are able to tell how much a person's will affects the world around them. People with especially high willpower. Is it willpower in mental strength, or does it refer to a different potency altogether? Again, I'm unsure. When they find these dormant potentials, what they do is they must induce that psychic awakening. They must induce a form of shock that is necessary to trigger unnatural will working. He explained it as, quote, a channel. If we were to liken the human brain to a radio station, human beings are able to operate at different frequencies. In fact, there have been experiments showing that the human brain's ability to interpret things actually comes from invisible frequencies that we can't quite hear but we can respond to. Perhaps there is some research to be done there, but it comes down to this. He said that in order for a psychic to awaken, two things must align. First, they must have potent will-working abilities naturally. And second, their channel must switch to an unnatural channel, something that the brain is not meant to receive under normal circumstances. And he said the best way to induce that second condition is first to disassociate the subject from natural society. There must be no hint of normalcy in what they do. Where we place a person in the world, they become part of something. They want to become part of something. But you cannot be special if you are a part of something. The human brain will then try to socially fit in. No, they need to be isolated somehow. Perhaps not quite literally, but isolated in something they themselves wish to be a part of. In the case of Hugo Redgrave, it was the isolation on a personal level. The child wanted friends, family, bonds very deeply. So, Michael Redgrave made sure that he would receive no proper parental care and he would not be in a proper social group. This created the isolation. That is the first stage. Once the subject has been rejected from normalized society, from structure and foundation, they can then see to work against the structural foundation. In some ways, Michael Redgrave explains, we must induce them to become like true mages. Once again, I do not know what he refers to as true mage in this scenario. Is there a difference between a true mage and a sorcerer? Then where do we put or place people who are psychic awakenings? It's all very confusing to me, but it must be ordained somehow. It must all fit in somewhere. Now, the third and final stage is to induce the shock phenomenon, a trigger that will make all of these prior connections, all of these prior preparations snap into place. For Hugo Redgrave, it was harming his siblings. Oh yes, other test subjects were ordered to attack the siblings of Hugo Redgrave, Neliel and Carl. This sent a feedback loop that caused Hugo to awaken his powers. Perhaps it comes the most natural to him, as those children were incredibly battered and beaten almost to a pulp. But it's said that when one switches to a psychic channel, it creates a disturbance in being able to function as a normal human being. It forms kind of what might be perceived as a mental illness. They have switched to the channel, but they cannot switch again. It's not something to turn on and off. And because of that, their perspective of the world is forever altered. For Hugo Redgrave, it was the same. In fact, so traumatizing was the incident, they had to introduce psychedelics into his system, and then delude him to the point where he would naturally forget. And that is exactly what they did. The subjects of his two siblings are also very interesting. To induce isolation in Neliel, they made her choose moral choices. Apparently, Neliel had always been a child who is extremely empathetic, passionate in a way. This natural disposition makes it easier to harm and hurt her based on moral quandaries. She is able to engage in things that are particularly sinful, but they cause the most amount of harm to her because she feels the emotions. So every choice is more fatal in consequence than the first. So they induced so many moral quandaries that quite literally the subject had to break down. And once again, psychedelics were used. Interestingly enough, they explained that the entire west wing of the lab at the time had caught on fire. They called it a resounding success. I don't really know if that's true. The last subject was perhaps the most potent in some ways. A unique individual who, from the very beginning, it is said that from birth he was able to utilize his powers. Something about him is wrong. Michael Redgrave defines him as magnum opus, the truest wish manifested. Something about him, the true psychic phenomena, has been categorized as highest class. I don't know exactly what classifications between psychic phenomena are. I don't even know what magical phenomena are. But Michael Redgrave explains in his report. He explains that the true power of his last child is one that is so great that it hides behind another power. Whatever its true nature may be, Michael Redgrave considered it a resounding success and did not take further actions to personally stimulate his last child. I was able to get these reports by, shall we say, commandeering old files. Apparently, the original Redgrave home, I assume, was not completely burned down in the fire. I made it into the house and stole the unlisted files. I was able to then look at the file numbers and match them to old Firelight databases. Project Twilight, our predecessors, it seems they were more sinister than we first thought. There were other subjects too in this recent file report. Subjects that, honestly, each of them worrying in its own. A Japanese boy who had the power to empathetically alter the perceptions of others and even devour their own emotions. Spectacular, to say the least. There was even another who could quite literally displace themselves in space. Amazing, to be sure, perhaps. Who knows what these might be for? But in my tracking, in my investigation, I seem to have caught the attention of someone. I received an invitation. Should I go? I did go. I ended up going. Beryl Vandris. Has he caught on to me? I end up meeting him at this rundown coffee shop. Is it really a coffee shop? Am I in danger? No, calm down, calm down. You must focus. I see him. He looks young. Oh, Agent Moon. Welcome to New Orleans. I trust the weather's been hospitable. It's memorable. That's one way to put it. Sit, please. You federal boys don't come down here unless something's interesting. It's just a routine review. You know, interagency cooperation. Ah, routine. That word's done a lot of heavy lifting in this city. You've been looking into those recent incidents, haven't you? I review what's made available. Of course you do. And what do you make of them? They're closed cases. You don't strike me as a man satisfied with closed doors, Agent Moon. I just follow procedure. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you've been interviewing survivors that weren't on your routine list. Cross-referencing statements is standard practice. Oh, I agree completely. Contradictions are fascinating, aren't they? They make you wonder whether people are lying or whether reality itself is. Tell me, in your experience, how often do federal investigations encounter anomalies? Define anomaly. Oh, I don't know. Witnesses describing things that don't exist. Evidence that refuses to align. Patterns that suggest something other than human behavior. People just see what they're afraid of. Yes, they do. And what are you afraid of, Agent Moon? I'm afraid of irrelevance. Good answer. Wrong one, but good. You know, the Bureau's history in this city is colorful. Back in the 90s, agents on payrolls they shouldn't have been on. Files disappearing, cases that led nowhere because someone higher up decided they shouldn't. I'm aware of the allegations. Allegations? Agent Moon, men went to prison over those allegations. Others didn't. You see, connections tend to linger. Information travels. Secrets have a way of being traded like currency. Which brings me to you. You're very careful with your words. Too careful. You avoid certain terms. Terms, acknowledgments, things like that. Almost like you've been trained not just to deny something, but to never admit it exists at all. You're reading too much into, no, I'm reading exactly enough. You said earlier, you review what's made available. That's not how your division operates, not the one you're actually from. You're making assumptions. Am I? Because from what I understand, your people don't wait for information. They classify it, they bury it, they weaponize it. And yet, here you are, pretending you don't even have the clearance to discuss it. That's how I knew you were lying. A man who truly doesn't know asks questions. A man who knows too much avoids them. If you have something to say, oh, I do, but not about your interests. I don't care what you're looking for, Agent Moon. Caches, secrets, ghosts and dusty files, that's your business. But these cases, they're mine. And I would strongly advise that you let them stay closed. And if I don't, then you'll discover something about this city that your training didn't prepare you for. Not everything hidden is meant to be uncovered. Some things stay buried because the world is safer that way. Enjoy your stay in New Orleans, Agent Moon. Truly. And remember to do yourself a favor. Stop asking questions you already know the answer to. Damn. He didn't deny it. He didn't deny any of it. Which means I'm not investigating a cover-up. I'm standing inside one. How do all of these things connect? Project Twilight, hidden information cache, murders? I get the distinct impression I'm in for a long haul. Well, I've never been one to give up. I'll accept this challenge because it's my job.